Yes, welcome everyone to this very sacred circle today with the topic of the other side. And as we begin this circle together, take a moment to just ground down, take a breath, let go of any assumptions, any stories, anything you know. And for this moment, just for this moment that we are together in this very safe space, let's be open to learn from each other, to love even deeper, and to laugh and to share. I'm so thrilled you're here to hear the other side of the equation that sometimes is not heard. Before we go into that topic of sacred relationships and the other side, I'm going to hand over the mic to my beautiful sister goddess Andrea and get out of the spotlight so she can tell us all about the energies that are going on currently. So, planetary, astrologically, what's up?
Hi to all of you. It's a very special evening today because Moon conjunct Pluto. And this day is always a reflection of our deepest feelings. And that's our topic for today. We go into feelings and it's in Aquarius. And where is our new kind of possibility to go into relationship? Where can we reflect ourselves? And I had seen that this moon is really as deep as a, we look beneath the mirror. If you can imagine a lake and you look into the lake and you see your own face, everything is reflection. And beneath this mirror, there is where we're going to dive deep because there are our hidden secrets where we need to bring them up into our heart and also into our voice to speak out what is important in a relationship. And I was thinking about this just the last 10 minutes, and I asked for a word that calls in our deepest feelings for this moment, and it's reflection. So, and some kind of like a child would reflect these things, like easygoing in a kind of a playful way, not like what do we have to be in a relationship? How good do we have to be? That's not the topic. We go into deep dive. The moon is our childhood also. And there we go and bring up all the maybe we have hidden our feelings for a long time, and now let's bring them up in a playful way.
I'm in for that. Playful is always. Right. And I feel what when you're talking about this, we're going to do the deep dive. There's a certain fear in me that comes up. I'm like, oh God, that sounds like intense stuff.
It
I
is.
love that you put that playful part in. And yeah, that's where we grow and learn most when we're allowing ourselves to be playful. So now let's bring the next beautiful, playful beings into the spotlight. Ha ha, and we'll release Andrea. Let me, everyone, please introduce this beautiful couple to you. So, I met Sebastian, who you will see on the left, I guess, of the screen, at my EMS Body Street Studio as a trainer, and got into conversation while we started training, and we do that weekly, right? And I was always amazed at first at how he spoke about you, Rasheen. That's the beautiful lady you see on the right. And we have very honest conversations, don't we, Sibi, when we train, or when I train and you tell me what to do.
Oh yes, we do actually. I'm unmuted, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to say, when I first met Joy, I just love this woman. She's really incredible. I really appreciate how open she is and how how wonderful she is as a human being. You just see it instantly how she is, and yeah, just fell in love with her. beside this one.
We are capable of loving more than just a woman, but that's
Yeah.
four questions on. So, Rasheen, maybe you can give us a little bit about your story of how did you guys meet, and how long have you been in a relationship with each other? You both come from different countries, so maybe I'd love to give the woman in the picture the word first. Tell us who you are and how you met this interesting, beautiful man on your side.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be part of this and to talk about our story together. As you may be able to hear by my accent, I come from Manchester in the UK and I moved to Austria around 8 years ago. Um, I met this wonderful man next to me around nearly 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we met by the, as some people would call it, modern day love story on Tinder.
You did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the interesting thing for me was that I had come out of a long-term relationship. I'd been with my previous partner for 7 years and had kind of grown into a bit of a different person and wanted to give myself some time to just explore who I was and my new life. And I think I'd been in Austria for 3 years at this point, and just have some time to explore and see kind of. I've only had one previous partner, so I wanted to see kind of what life was like and what was out there and that kind of thing. And Sebi was actually the first person I matched with on Tinder and the only person I went on a date with.
Wow.
And didn't really explore very much after that.
So you just you knew this was the one that okay.
Yeah. I mean, from the first moment that we met, it was like we'd known each other. I know that sounds like such a cliche, but we talked so easily.
Yeah.
We talked for hours on the first date and conversation just flowed super easy.
Yeah.
We had the same sense of humor. We just got along. It felt really comfortable from the first moment. And yeah, I didn't need anything else from, I just kind of felt like that was what I was looking for in a weird way, and that I didn't need to be searching for anything else.
That's lovely. And then your story started unfolding in a really dramatic way. So maybe like to step in on what happened after this blissful romance began.
Yeah, so I actually have a chronic illness. I have Crohn's disease, which I've had since I was around, I think I've been diagnosed since around 16. It is something I considered when getting into a new relationship because obviously it's not ever going to be simple if you have something that you deal with on a lifelong basis. And I told you about it from the start. I was very honest. And I was managing well, like everything was okay. So it wasn't really affecting our lives very much. But it is something to consider. And I made you aware that it could cause complications, but we were doing well. And then in the summer of 2021, so we met at the beginning of 2020, we were officially in a relationship, I would say, by August 2020.
Exactly.
And then close to a year after that, we were traveling to Vienna via car.
Yeah. But before I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you. Before something really, really dramatically happened, actually, where this was our first stepstone on a fundamental, I would say, is when I met Roisin. She didn't meet my mom because she was sick with cancer to that time in 2020. And she died with 63 in May.
Wow.
We actually, and you never met my mom to that time.
Yeah.
You just lost your mom, and then you got to this very pivotal day where Rasheen is saying was with your right. Can you
Exactly? Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, I wanted to interrupt, but this was quite the I would say a big step in. So this was the first thing, and she supported me like hell. I don't know how I could have made it without another joke. So and then this situation happened.
We were traveling to Vienna via car, and around 2 hours into the journey, I started to experience extreme abdominal pain. I think I can cut a long story short. How do I describe it? Essentially, I had a life-threatening bowel,
Yeah,
my bowel twisted,
yeah.
which was life-threatening. We were 2 hours away from home, and we had to make a decision to call the ambulance. And I was basically rushed into emergency surgery within half an hour of getting to the hospital. It was extremely traumatic for both of us.
Yeah. Because about half a year of a hospital story just came along
unfolded,
after this, unfolded.
Right, so you just said goodbye to your mom and spent a lot of time in hospitals, and then
Exactly, but because she supported me so much with this, I would never have just left her alone. No, this is not who I am, and this is not what I would like to do. Definitely not. I never did this with any kind of my girlfriend. So even if we're ex-girlfriends, I always supported her because in the end we are humans. We should support each other. And this did the same with Rasheen. We went through thick and thin during this period.
There was a lot of uncertainty during the time. There was a lot of waiting and seeing what could happen. I had one emergency surgery where you had to drive home and not know if I was going to make it out of that alive. Yeah. And you couldn't be by my side, which I think was really difficult for you. Yeah. There was a lot of kind of backwards and forwards of where I should be and what should be happening to me as well. And I was not really in a state that I could decide for myself and make those decisions for myself. And CB was an absolute rock.
You had to trust really deep in those moments, right? You had to trust each other. Do you both feel that like trust is something that you gained from that experience? Because
absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah.
Both of you, what now looking back onto it, and you went through a couple of those hardships, what is it that helped you then come out stronger and not break from it?
Wow, that's a good question. I think it's just that I feel like, at least from my perspective, I went to the lowest point in my life. And the one constant that kept me going through it was you. And I could give you everything. I gave you all my pain. I gave you all my thoughts, everything. And you held me up in every darkest moment. Yeah. And I just feel like and I actually remember having a conversation with you where I said, you never asked for this. And you didn't need to stay with me because it was really difficult and there was a lot going on. And I was very conscious that it was taking up a lot of your time to be back and forwards at the hospital with me and be dealing with doctors for me and everything like that. And I said, not everybody is built to be in a relationship with somebody that is A, chronically sick, but also B, is having a situation like this. And it was just not a conversation for you. He was like, no, it doesn't. Why? I mean, first of all, why would I leave you in that moment? But you were also experiencing it with me, and it's a tough thing to go through.
Exactly, but at the same time, this is not who I am, and I loved you to that moment. But it became stronger and stronger and stronger, and I knew you needed me, and I wanted to do this for you. There was no discussion for me, When you think Rasheen didn't speak, she speaks German, but not that well that you can articulate yourself so good towards a doctor or whatever. So I did most of the bureaucratic stuff, I would say, and we live close to Salk, so that helped. So it was every day in constant talk with about 3 or 4 doctors or Primar or whatever. And
what you? Wait, so doing all that, what was the blessing in it for you? Now looking back, what did you learn or what did you grow in that? I mean, it's remarkable that you did all that. And what's now the gift that you got from it? What would you say? He's frozen. They've both frozen. Okay, we'll get back to them. This is so fun. I'm going to come back into the spotlight and we'll see when CB and Rosine get back on, and then we'll bring them back in. So I think it's fascinating to, in general, when you have been through an interesting period in life, a challenging time, to always take the time and reflect back on it and say, hey, what actually helped me get through there? Because those are the resources and the skills that we always have inside of us that will help us in future challenges. But it also helps us see, what else could I bring in on resources and skills that I might not have yet? And I think that's where we're going to go into the next part of this conversation now and ask the beautiful men that I have asked to come here in the circle with us to answer three powerful questions for themselves and for us. And some of these guys already told me, just by pondering on these questions, stuff has happened inside of me. So without further ado, let's bring in, let me see that I find you all. Here we go. Here's my love, who is currently missing a tooth. And he said, I'm not going to put it in because I think it fits my personality. Hello, my love.
Hello there. Sorry, I'm looking a bit wild. It's a bad dentist. Make a long story short. Um, Hope it's not too wild. So I'm prepared.
You're prepared. So, dear Freddie, would you tell us what you love most about being in a relationship with a woman?
Well, it's based on my general belief that man and women are different in many ways. Not physically, I think, but um, the approach is different. And I think that if you make it to bring those both different approaches, those different point of views together, then you have a much better view, a much rounder view. Technically, maybe, and emotionally, let's call technically the man's side and emotionally the women's side, to make it very simple, but it's far more complicated, I guess. But that's the general thing, and that makes the world more beautiful because it's not more of the same. It's I'm missing the English word. Eine wunderbare Ergänzung, nicht Ergänzung, eine wunderbare, wonderful.
Add on like it's a benefit. Would you say that?
It makes it the whole. Alone, you see only maybe a third, but together you see the whole thing. If you, and the question is, or if you are able to communicate in love, I think that's essential to get there. So to love each other is a very good base or requirement, you could say.
Thank you.
Because if you stick to your point of view, that's not the idea. You can do that alone too. So it's about opening and inclusion.
Thank you.
In a lot of ways.
Okay, I think we could talk on forever, and I love your point of view. So thank you for this. We're now going to switch to the next beautiful guy. How about Christian? Here we go. Christian Kruse. He is the beautiful husband of Nicole, our sister goddess here. And Christian is also going to answer the question for us. What do you love most about being in a relationship with a woman?
I think the question was what do you seek, right? The original one. And I'm saying that because at the beginning I got with my usual first mentality that I go like bullet point list structured and try to find a smart ass answer. But then it challenged me the entire night. I was really not sleeping because I couldn't find the answer, because I thought whatever I would say, it wouldn't really be the truth in terms of it might be now something that I intellectually be capable of saying, but actually we are talking about evolution. And for me, it's a little bit special because I'm not the typical kind of man, because I started to fall in love with this lady over there when I was, I think, 16, and it took me 2 years to win her over. And since then, we are a couple. And so I realized I didn't seek anything in this relationship other than I was just at this time blown away by this beauty. I mean, from the kindness to the body, everything was just great for me, and an experience that we both then managed to develop until today. And I hope you would agree, my love, that until today we love each other even more and desire us each even more. So for me, what I mean with evolution in that sense is I think what I see or seeked is what I found. And what you find is basically also, of course, who you are, right? And what you reflect. And I think, beside the fact that we can also really fight hard, that we have a unbelievable respect for each other. And I mean, this girl saved my life, literally, as you all know. And despite the fact that I put her in a very difficult life, she sticks.
That's beautiful. I love how that's bringing up a lot of emotions for you. I'd love to challenge you, Christian, and go back to the question that I asked right now. What is it that you most love about being in a relationship with a woman? What's the first word that comes to mind?
Challenge. I think it's a challenge.
Mm.
Not the challenge towards how she behaves, it's how I react. So I think that's something that, and I mean challenge not in a negative way, please, right? It is really inspiring me. It keeps me going and not trying to become, this potato guy who sits on the couch and doesn't take care anymore about this. I mean, we had this phase as well, right? Where you let go of yourself because you believe you are in a relationship, and then you bang get on and says, hey, get out there. Yeah, you need to love yourself, and if you love yourself, you can create this relationship. And so for me, she is really a challenge, right? I mean, every day, because she never would say it's not good enough, but this, and that this micromanaging mentality that you guys sometimes have about us men, it's actually.
Okay, my love, thank you so much. I'm going to jump in because I want to keep to our time plan, and because you've said so many beautiful things that I'd like to just let land. So I'm going to bring Sebi in. Could you come towards the camera a little closer? Because we have a couple more questions, so we get through them all. Sebi, what do you love most about being in a relationship with a woman?
I would say the best word to describe it. So challenge is very good, but companionship, without a doubt. I think for me the most important thing. I'm sorry we were interrupted before, but the VLAN just broke down. Shit. But I have to say, so what we where we stopped before. So my mom died at the time, and after 2 years, my grandma died, and then my father died. So all three in about 4 years on cancer. So without her, without Rasheen, I would have fell in a hole. I don't know if I would have got out again, I have to say. So it's definitely companionship, then definitely to share my feelings with someone in the evening, during the day, someone who helps me to grow. This is definitely a huge plus. So if I would be alone or whatever, I don't know. No, I would sink into this little hole where you like not really social at some point, which we men, I would say, we have this problem that we don't really share our feelings. Either we didn't learn it from our parents or whatever. But I think this is very important. And when you have a partner with you, especially a wonderful, beautiful woman like my girl, it's a huge grow opportunity for me when I have her by my side. And every time she gives me different viewpoints on certain kind of things I think about. And I loved it about her. She challenged me every day. And when we go to sleep in bed every day and I can cuddle with her, it just feels like, it's just the best feeling in the world. So even the physical touch, the mental touch, and the companionship we share with each other, I think this is what it makes so special between us, without a doubt. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Good feedback there. I think we're all learning so much, aren't we? Ladies, can I get some yeses or nos up there? You like, yes? This is very powerful. So thank you guys for being so open and transparent with us. So back to you, my love. Question number 2 now to Freddie. I'm going to let CB out again. Look at all this. So, sweetheart, what do you struggle with most when in a relationship with a woman? What are the things that you struggle with most?
Bad communication,
Mm.
because that leads to misunderstandings and yeah, not positive development. Struggling is when there is no connection and no understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a bit actual, but that's the general thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to talk about things and overcome it that way and get clear on things is, I think, essential.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
Thank you. How about you, Christian? What do you struggle with most when in a relationship with a woman?
Well, I think there are two things. The number one is when you fight over things that are not because you have a problem with each other, it's because you're overwhelmed, but you cannot stop it, right? You go into details and then it's hurting and you say things you would regret, things like that. With the person that means everything in your life is actually something I struggle with. And then, as a lesson, of course, from my incident when I was there in the hospital, it was, yeah, like, is my impact that I'm creating and also the issues that come from them actually impacting someone else's personal life? And then you get this thought like, could you have it done better? If I wouldn't have that problem, so that was a time back in the days where I was struggling about. So my impact on her personal freedom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Thank you. CB, how do you feel about that? What do you struggle with most when in a relationship with a woman?
I think there are two really, really important things to say about the whole discussion about having a situation with a woman in a relationship. First, you can never ever uh, discuss or get to a positive concept when you have rationality versus emotionality. So when
Mm.
someone discusses something emotional, you can never argue in rationality. This is just not possible. It's not working. So you need to find, exactly like Freddie said, absolutely true. Communication is the key. Absolutely. And the big problem is, and I saw it with my parents and stuff like this, a certain generation, I think is quite a generational thing. I think a certain generation didn't really know how to communicate, or they didn't get it from the parents how to communicate right. So they left it. And this, I think, is the worst thing possible. So what we do, Roshin and I, we have really a huge open discussion every time. And I never judge her. I always try to be open about it. And this is so important. And I think our generation really developed in this direction. I think this will be when you have a relationship nowadays, I think the base will be way better than to a time when, let's say after World War, the boomer generation or Generation X, this, I think this whole situation changed. And one thing which I think is one of the most important things between rationality and emotionality is like men want to be admired and women want to be desired. And
Yeah,
there's
we spoke
a lot.
about that in the
Yeah,
last.
exactly. I love this sentence. You know what I mean? I always love that because it's just true. It's really true. It's like um, as long as a woman feel desired by her husband or by a man, she will feel loved and she will feel good. But at the same time, same for men, obviously, but men want to be admired. When I pick up the son from school or whatever, and she says, "Hey, really cool," or you vacuum cleaned the apartment, it's like he did something, it's like really cool, I'm really proud of you. He will love that. So these two things, I think, are main key points beside communication, which is really important, that a relationship lasts for a long, long, long time.
It also brings a bridge of, because it is pop culture, pop psychology, of course, because it is a little deeper. But you're right; it's on a upper level that is absolutely a thing, and deeper. It counts true for both. Is that we all want to feel appreciated. So
Yes.
I think you're also saying is that as long, and that's what, as I understood, all three of you were saying, as long as there's a sense of appreciation and a communication with the desire to understand, love can flow. And I think that that's what we're hearing. So now I'm going to go to the third question right now with you, because then we have less camera switching around, CB. Could you tell us what you desire? It could be emotionally, physically, or spiritually from a conscious relationship. What's something that's really important to you?
I think so. I actually wrote it up because you sent these questions, and I really loved these questions, I have to say. But I really had to think about it. And emotionally, I would say this is a big thing. I think someone to support me. This is important for me. You
Desire.
know, yeah, exactly. But in any way, if I do something wrong or I did do something right, or during the time would happen, or certain kind of situation would happen to me with my parents and everything, and the company and everything which happened, I think emotionally, definitely someone's to support me. And I
Mm.
think for us all, one of the most important decisions you can ever make is choose your life partner, because this partner can either shred you to pieces or lift you up in heights you cannot imagine. So I think this is a really, really big thing here. Physically, I would say um, I want someone here with me. This was so important. I think this is why our connection is so good, is that we were together from the beginning on and really on a really deep emotional side and physically. This was
Mm.
so important. So long distance relationships, so some people, I don't know, they can do it. We have friends. She's from Holland, I think, and he's from Arizona. There were 5 years in a long distance relationship. This is not nothing for me, and I know
Mm.
that for me. I need this person with me, and it's so important that she's with me, and I know she's in the even with me. So this, I think, is a big thing, and spiritually, I would say this is a big thing. This is true. You actually told me, this is absolutely right. Is someone who accepts for who I am.
Mm.
So a lot of people go into relationships and they want to change someone. Yeah, I can maybe put some wheels here or change him like this or whatever. I know it doesn't mean, this is really important, that you cannot grow with this person and cannot develop and see how this person what this other person wants. Absolutely not. You can develop this, absolutely no problem. But it's more like the base, who he is, how she is, and you leave her that way and you love her because of that. And I
Mm.
think this is a really, really important thing. And this
Thank
actually was with us, this was a huge base. And the base, in the end, if everything falls apart, we still have our fundament.
you.
And
Nice. Love
that's
that.
the point. It's really important.
Thank you. Okay, so we had physical presence, someone who accepts me for who I am. How about you, Christian? What are your desires for a conscious relationship, a partnership?
Well, in today's world, I think if you want to apply these categories of the link, I think the physical thing and the physical world takes a bigger role than we might admit. Touching each other, feeling each other, like you said, Sebi, every night cuddling and still holding hands in the morning and whatever, it becomes even more important as the physical connection is for me really a bridge that allows us to also then connect emotionally and spiritually, right? It's also vice versa, by the way. If there's no emotion and no spirituality, you don't want to touch anyone, right? But it is really something where I believe that it becomes more important than actually when you were young, and that is something where I think we always can try to become better and better. So, and emotionally, I mean, we are really going through craziest adventures in our life. I think I can believe that Nicole and I lived the life of 4 lives together. What we have done, the risk that we took, the hit that we took, the getting up again from the bottom up, and always believing the boys we raised. I mean, I think it's something that really makes us who we are, right? And this continues now. Now that we, since a week, we both officially admit we are now free again. Our boys are off. And that's new for us. It's completely new, and really we both detect again ourselves as a couple, but also individually, and that is really amazing, amazing. I mean, yeah, and spiritually, I mean, we both. I learned so much. I told you that privately, Joy. I learned so much from her. She prepared me 15 years to survive. And I learned really the spiritual world from her. And I think I have also 1 or 2 things that I can give back on that level. But we continue to grow. We have a vision, and this vision is deeply rooted in the spirituality. And yeah, so we are a team. And that's what I'm really looking forward to for the next 50 years.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Okay, my love, how about you? What are your desires in a conscious relationship?
Love and peace. Love is the physical part, the touching, the little things that we do, the little whatever, the motive behind all that, the common motive behind that, and peace because what could be more wonderful, and maybe you fall asleep or I fall asleep, but what could be more wonderful than being together in one place and everything is okay? And what better feeling could that be?
Hmm. Yeah, we're big fans of peace. I love that. Thank you. So, gentlemen, I'm going to put you all together in one spot. Um, Allow me to admire you in the name of all these sisters here. Admire you for your courage to come online with us here and talk about these matters that really touch hearts, our hearts and doggies' hearts. And really to be so willing to help us all learn and grow together. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And because you're so generous, you said it would be okay if our ladies asked you questions. So now, my loves, sisters, the mic over to you. Do please ask these beautiful men any question you may have that you would like to ask a man. And you could do either the following: you write it in the chat and I will read it out if you want to stay anonymous, or you could just unmute yourself and ask the question. And if nobody is going to say something, Nicole and Andrea know they're going to have to ask a question. So relieve them of that pressure. And please go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I'm going to ask another question. What did you enjoy most about what we did today? I mean, did you enjoy this? Phoebe?
That's I'm on, yeah. Yeah. No, I have to tell you, what I really, really enjoyed today was that I we sat together before and we actually talked about it actively. You know what I mean? Everyone, because of today's time, we have the situation that we barely take times for ourselves and for our loved ones because it's so rushed and everything is going on so fast nowadays that we really sat down together and said, okay, what do we love about each other? Which is really, really nice. So we took this as a chance together to share our story with you because it was actually very, very dramatic. And in the end, I'm 36 and Rasheen is 33 now. And we are quite young for having a story like this, I would say, or this kind of emotional damage, what we suffered from the last couple of years. Other people don't have this for till they're 50 or something like this, till parents die or something like this. So we were really connected from beginning on. So we took that as an opportunity today to talk about it and really made us feel good. And I really, really feel like more connected to you again. We are really connected, but sometimes you just need to say it. It's just really important, I think. You just need to say it. It's like everyone knows it. We men know it. Our fathers never said to us, hey, I'm proud of you, son. Yeah, would be good that you tell us this at some point. It would have been nice if you would have told us this. You know what I mean? But they always assumed it, that we know that they're proud of us, but it's nice to hear it. It's the same for you women, I guess. Sometimes it's just nice to hear it. Exactly. So I love you, or a kiss, or physical, or whatever, these small little things, like Christian said before, it's really, really important. It's not one big thing. It's the small things. You just see every day what the person beside you does, step by step by step, and it just grows, 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 and you just feel every day, you feel loved every day. I think this is so important.
I love what you said there because it acts true also for our businesses. I learned in so many of my trainings, you have to take time every week to work on your business and not always just work in your business. And I think the same is for our relationships, to really make specific time and the effort to say, and this is the time that we're going to use to work on our relationship. And that doesn't have to be work, like serious. It's playtime, right? What could we do
But I
to
think this is why it's so important to still have date nights.
Yes.
It is not a joke. It is a fact. I always laughed at it because I was like, yeah, we spend time together. No, we spend time together, but we don't spend time together. Quality time. Absolutely right. Quality time. And we really take one evening a week, where we like, hey, let's do something crazy. Let's go out there and let's really get into a suit, get into something really nice, fancy each other. And I think this is so important. Don't live next to each other. This is living next to each other, but not
thriving.
Quality time together. This is really important. I really underestimated that. I really have to say.
Thank you. Freddie, you're a big fan of date night. So is there anything you'd like to add to that? Any tip you have for any guy or lady, whatever gender watching now, what would be your best tip for people? What's helped you?
Listen to your inner child and have fun.
And bring out the pirate like you are right now, right? And rock it.
What
Will
the hell?
soon be over. Yeah, you don't see that for a very long time. Okay.
Celebrate it while you have it, right? Christian, is there anything you'd like to add to this? The ladies have not asked any questions. That's why I'm keeping you gentlemen entertained here, and we're still gaining.
No worries.
Everyone's like, oh, this is so fun. Okay, Christian, your best tip.
You want a tip from me? Okay.
Well, I want to say something smart, and you have so much in you, so go.
No, I wanted to start with what I enjoyed about all of this. Most I enjoyed the whole night thinking about this topic. Honestly, I loved it because it challenged me. And number two, I love to listen to you other guys rather than to myself. I mean, it was especially, I mean, I know from Freddie a little bit more, but you other two, it's so interesting to listen to your story because you are a generation younger than we are, and you have done a lot of stuff, and I can see so many things. Of course, we have gone through too. And for me, the most interesting thing is that in the last 25 years, we started where you are, I would say, and you can lose yourself if you are in this growing children. Man, you can lose yourself. I mean, I was rotating 24/7, flying the entire world, doing the craziest things, almost dying from it, but really sacrificing myself to family life. And now I'm back and think like, wait a minute, who am I now?
Mhm.
Uh, they don't need me anymore. What to do now, right? And everyone in my family knows that I'm overwhelmingly being the chef koch at home because I'm cooking like hell to entertain everyone with the best food because I feel they need me for that, but they don't, right? Of course, but it's a kind of like a compensation for that. So, I mean, I think even mothers still know that way more, right? When you get out of this phase that you are at the moment in front of, I would say, right? And all I can say is, well, try to keep this communication as much as possible and be aware that you need to love yourself and write a big sign and never forget it. And there's nothing more important out there, no work, no job, no money, nothing that would justify of sacrificing your personality to running around. So, and that has a direct impact on relationship because to survive that in a relationship over time is, I think, the biggest miracle.
Mhm.
Mm, mm. Thank you. Andrea, do you have a question for these gentlemen?
I have seen Sandra ask what rituals, habits, or moments bring depth into your love.
So, what are the kind of rituals, habits, or moments that you enjoy that help you bring depth to the love that you feel for your partner?
If I can start, because this is really a cute one, I have to say. So every Monday in the morning,
Yeah.
you really love that. You really miss it if I don't do it. Every Monday in the morning before I drive to work, I write a little note since years now, and I put it exactly in the same spot with "I love you so much" and everything. We together in the 5 years now,
Mhm.
and I did this every day. And every time because Rasheen works for Red Bull, and
Yeah.
you stand up a little later than me on
Mhm.
Monday,
Yeah.
and I drive away, so I give you a kiss. It's really important for us. So before I drive, even if she sleeps, you're actually quite angry if you don't get the kiss in the morning.
Yeah.
And I put this post-it on, and with "I love you" or whatever, certain kind of texts. And every time you make a coffee, you make a photo, send it to me, and you said, "This is such a nice morning." This is
Hmm.
our
Actually, something that you don't know is that before I even go into the bathroom, the first thing I do when I get up on a Monday morning is go and see if you've
go and
written a
see if I read
note.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And when you forget, I'm on the phone instantly like, where was my
where's
note?
my post-it? That's true, actually. I think we have about the one cupboard with
Yeah,
all
they're all
the
in my drawer.
post-its
I save them
everywhere. Yeah.
all.
But this,
That's
I
lovely.
think, is a really big thing. So this is our little beginning of the week.
Yeah, it's the
Love
first
for it.
thing I read on a Monday morning, and I feel loved instantly.
Exactly.
And it
Exactly.
keeps the
This
connection
is
super
our,
strong.
and it keeps the connection super strong. Exactly. This is our little.
Okay, Freddie, Christian, and then we have another question coming up. Now the ladies are waking up.
Will I jump in?
Please.
So, I mean, there are big things and small things. We don't have enough time to really cover them all, but on the big level is that Nicole and I, we always went through our intuition, especially when it was about taking the most difficult decisions. We never applied logic. So we went to Bali, although we couldn't do this with our kids, and we did it. We lived there for 3 years in the green school in Bali, and that was the craziest thing we ever did. When we couldn't do it, we both decided we live for 6 months on an island and left all our kids in Athens, and we did it because it was good for us.
The
We
kids
we
were
do
old
the
enough, no, but just in case anybody's worried here, the kids were definitely old enough to be left alone for 6 months.
Yes, yes, but what it means is we follow the heart when it's necessary, even if everyone else says you are totally mad, you cannot finance it, you cannot do this, and logistically not possible, then we do it. And the second, smaller things are the similar things like you did. Nicole and I have a little cute, stupid picture of a dog looking like this. And this dog is on a heart-shaped paper, and it travels since 1989 around this between her and me. And every time you find this dog in a crazy spot, under the cushion, in the shower, or in the laptop, or in your pocket, or wherever. And this guy vanished for how many years? 8, 9 years. And I found it again now while we moved. And when I now flew to Germany, I'm now in Frankfurt at the moment, Nicole is in Athens. I put it in her laptop. And she freaked out when she saw it. So, I mean, these are the small things who really give you this instant love feeling, I would say.
I love that. Thank you. Freddie, anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I think the what we call Zeitinsel, is something very important. It's a time where phones off, away. It's just us. It's for ideally 24 hours. So no one else around, no disturbance, no nothing, just time for us. That's something I
What was the name? Zeitinsel?
Yes.
Zeitinsel.
Bravo.
And
Love that. Thank you.
Island of Time Island.
Time Island. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have a question in the chat, and that's like, none of these three men seem to criticize their women. So
Oh,
what do you think about men who do that? So, A, is it true that you never criticize your women?
oh no, definitely not. I think I can do that quite heavily. And then I feel so bad because it's not many times justified. And it's only when I don't like myself. There's something happened with me, a business partner cheated on me, or anything happened out there. And then you try to hit the one that you love most, which is the most stupidest thing you can personally do, right? And I admit I'm guilty of sometimes doing these things. And then, things like what I tried to mention the first round is when then I feel micromanaged, that freaks me out. And then I can really criticize and say, why do you have to say that with me? It doesn't matter if I have a noodle in my face or something on my shirt. It doesn't matter if I didn't brush my teeth now or not, all this kind of stuff. And there I can really freak out. And of course, she's always right. That's the worst of it, right? But then I can still say, yes, but you don't have to do that. I mean, you can live also without doing this to me. I can do this. I admit, I feel guilty.
I think we all, also us female beings, we're very well aware of doing that too. So thank you for that. Um, Sibi, Freddie, anything you'd like to add to that? I think the other part of the question, when you see another man criticizing his partner in that way when they're not feeling happy about themselves, how does that have you feel? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I would say all my friends know what was going on the last couple of years. And I can tell you, not a joke, I think a lot of my friends like you even more than me. So I'm in a bad place if I will talk shitty about you. No, but fact is one thing. When you went through so much we went through over the last couple of years, I would never ever criticize you. I never even criticize. I would never criticize you toward my friends. And if a friend who criticizes this girl, criticizes her because of any reason, I actually overlook it a little bit because pretty much all of my friends I have really love their girlfriends, and I have friends who have long-term relationships for quite a long time. They never really talk shitty about them.
Okay.
I
I,
think,
I,
yeah.
just for clarification purposes, I mean, criticize is a strong word. So
Mm,
sometimes we all, whether we're female or male, have to give feedback of say, I didn't appreciate that so much, or I'd like to do this different. And that in itself is not a bad thing at all. I think
Mhm.
what the lady was referring to is when men are treating their women, and that's what you were now getting into intuitively, Sibi, in public, in a disrespectful way.
mhm.
I think that's where the question was, how do you feel when that happens in public? So if you're at it with a group of maybe not your friends, but they're other people, and
I
there's some
personally hate it. I
you
hate
hate.
that. I find this so. I I can tell you one situation with my mom to the time. So I was raised really the old ways that you actually uh, let a woman go through the door first and open the car doors and stuff like this. Like we would say Knicke in
Mm.
Austria, where I learned all of this to that time. And one time I didn't do it. My mom slapped me in the face. It's a small little slap, but you know what I mean. She was like really,
Called
really
out
big
by
about.
someone.
It was really like about you have to respect women. There's no discussion about it.
Good
And
training.
and
I'm gonna have to cut you short, CB, because we're already at 8 o'clock. That we could
yeah.
go on. I just want to give the other gentleman time to quickly say, is there anything you want to add to that? Because we want to close with an intention that is good for all
Well,
of
I don't think criticism per se is bad. I
you.
see it as a feedback. I see it more as if you come back to what I said first, you have 2 points of views. It's criticism means out of that other point of view, and hopefully with the motive of love behind, then it's something you should think about because it's given to you with a lot of love. And of course, it's not always easy to take feedback or criticism. Yeah. But if you do it out of love, or if you can trust that your partner is saying this because she or he loves you, um, it's not criticism. It's helping to get better. And that
Hmm.
sometimes is difficult because you don't see it. You need a mirror or you need another point of view. But getting better per se is good. Just swallow the pill is sometimes hard. But
You
you
said
know,
that. Thank
sometimes you need a bit of time to think about and get the criticism right into your system.
Nice. Thank you. Christian, any closing words to that? And then I'd love to read the feedback for you, gentlemen, what's in the chat.
Well, I mean, it's quite simple. If I see violence, abuse in public, I mean, that annoys me not only, but then I think it's something that you need to say. I think that is very important. However, every other situation, it's hard for me to judge someone, so it's hard. But what I know is that I sometimes, if I don't have a good day with Nicole and we would be in public, we can also argue in a cafe. And I feel sorry because sometimes she says, "Why do you have to be so loud?" I'm not loud. I'm just arguing. And honestly, I feel very bad about it because I think it's disrespectful. But in that moment, you might not control it or whatever, and then you realize you hurt someone. No matter if it was in public or not. But yeah, it's something where I have to admit I really can become better.
Thank you. In the chat, we have thank you, gentlemen, for all that you've shared. Beautiful to see that the love is overflowing for your ladies. Then we have thank you all. It was great and so beautiful to hear these wonderful words. Thank you for sharing us with us. Thank you so much for your openness and sharing your deepest thoughts. It is so inspiring and touching. So I will release you all out of the spotlight. Thank you so much for coming in inspiring us and loving us up here with your beautiful presence. And to close, we love spending a minute, a very focused minute, to send out a powerful intention for all of us. Because I think we have clearly seen that whether we're male or female, we all share the same desire to love and to feel safe and appreciated, to have our needs met, feel supported, and to grow together. So if you have the time and space now, ground down and let's take 3 breaths together, where we just drop into our hearts. And we imagine that we're all holding hands. And from our hearts, we all together send out the following intention. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently rise to our highest levels of love, to live, love, laugh, learn together in peace, in harmony, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. So wishing you all a beautiful day or night, wherever you are, whether you're watching this replay or you're here right live. We truly appreciate all of you, and we hope that your coming 24 hours are the most blissful yet, setting a new standard of joy, love, health, and all the goodness in your life. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joy, everyone.
Thank you for letting us speak to you.